Coach Fairlie went to Marple Newtown High School, just down the street. He earned 15 varsity letters during his time there for 4 different sports: football, hockey, lacrosse, and wrestling. He then continued his athletic career at Widener University, where he was an All-American twice for football and twice for lacrosse, and he recently played in the LXM Pro Lacrosse Tour at Radnor. His athletic career speaks for itself. He once spoke to the team about how to act when backed into a corner. He said you have 2 options: to fight your way out or to buckle under pressure. I know for a fact that Coach Fairlie will always be the one to fight for his team, as we will fight for him.
Coach Fairlie is a true competitor. He is not just a great athlete and coach, but also a great role model. To say it is an honor to play for him in my senior season is an understatement. There's no doubt in my mind that Coach Fairlie is making Episcopal football great again. Coach Fairlie is the essence of mind, body, and spirit, and truly understands what it means to be a leader. Please stand to greet Mr. Coach Todd Fairlie.
Thanks, guys. Good morning. I had more people ask me if I was nervous today than when we played Malvern, so I guess this is a really big deal, and here we go. I'd like to start by thanking you for having me speak here in chapel. I'm not sure whose decision was to pick me to speak during this very special week, but I'm very grateful for this opportunity to address the school and share a little bit about myself and my experiences with you. This week is a very exciting time for all of us here, and it's something you will remember for many years. My first experience with EA Haverford Agnes Irwin Day was 2 years ago here for the 100th football game. I was blown away with the atmosphere on campus and the school spirit our community showed. Before that day, I didn't have any idea how big of a rivalry Haverford School and Agnes Irwin was. I did not understand a win on that day or a very special performance could change a team's season or a player's career as it was perceived here at EA. From that day on, I understand how special this week is every year and how much it means to everyone involved. To put it into perspective, to all that are new here, I had several students come up to me in the middle of the football season asking me if they could join the team. When I asked them why they wanted to come out for the team now and not at the beginning of the season, the most frequent answer I got, with the exception of Daniel Sadie, who said it was for the girls, the most frequent answer I got was, I want to hit someone from Haverford on EA Haverford Day. Think about that. That means putting in a lot of practice and hard work to just get an opportunity to hit someone in one game. That's what I call a rivalry. As an athlete myself, I always enjoyed playing in big games or against rivals. I enjoyed the challenge and knowing that the bar was set a little higher on that day. Being part of a rivalry is a privilege and an honor, especially to take part in one with so much history and tradition as ours. It was not until college I got to take part in a truly deep and bitter rivalry. I learned then how lucky I was to take part in a game that everyone paid attention and that meant a little more than all the other games. So, I thought I would share at least one story with you about my experience in a game that was between 2 respected but bitter rivals. Joe spoke a little bit about how I played professional lacrosse after college, and I played the outdoor league in the summer, and then in the winter I tried out for an indoor team in San Jose. They played in the same league as the Wings here in Philadelphia, who you may be familiar with. I ended up making the team, and at the beginning of the season, we didn't dress everybody every game, but I was told I would get a chance to dress in our first few games. Our second game of the season was a home game on a Friday night, and the third game was an away game in Denver, Colorado, the very next night. I got the heads up to stay prepared as they would most likely dress everyone for these 2 games. I did not play on Friday night. Saturday morning, I got on our flight to Denver, unsure if I would dress. I thought I would certainly play Friday because Saturday was a huge game. Colorado was our biggest rival. The teams did not see eye to eye, with each other, and the year before, my team, the San Jose Stealth, had knocked out the #1 seed, Colorado Mammoth, in the playoffs, making this game even bigger. Colorado was notorious for selling out the arena and its rowdy fans. Colorado was an early favorite to win the Western Division and contend for a championship. That day, I was anxious to find out what the lineup would be. My brother was living in the area at the time, so I met with him for a while. He was anxious as well. We both always wanted to go pro in something, and although I was already a pro lacrosse player in the outdoor league, making the indoor league is something very rare for an American-born player. The league is mostly Canadians, as box lacrosse is a Canadian sport. So making a team was not enough for us, but playing would be. It was a long day, but about an hour before we left for the arena, I got a call from our GM telling me I was in the lineup. In our pregame meeting, all we talked about was how bitter this rivalry was and how much these teams did not get along. We talked about dealing with crowd noise and staying focused throughout the game. As I prepared for the game, I was comfortable and eager to get going. I've never really been nervous for much of my life, but I started to get butterflies before introductions. I entered the arena. I tried not to look up as I could hear the crowd going nuts and trying to get their team excited for the game. I finally looked up and saw 22,000 fans, none of which liked me, and they didn't even know me, except for my brother and our childhood friend who was there. The game was about to begin, and as I walked out for the opening face-off, I quickly learned that there were two things that were not respected in that league: Americans and rookies. It was the first time I was called a Yankee, and I wasn't sure if it was a compliment or not. Add that to a huge rivalry game where they wanted revenge for last season's playoff loss, and I had my work cut out for me. The game began with the first quarter, and it went by fairly well. I thought I was doing okay. Towards the middle of the second quarter, I was defending one of their players with the ball. I ended up stripping him and picking up the ball. As I ran up the floor to our offensive end, I was thinking about the great play I just made and was not thinking about what I should have been, which was the other team could substitute out the far end of their bench, similar to hockey. Long story made short, I got blown up. My helmet went flying. I got dragged across the turf. In a daze, I got up and found my way to our bench. I walked to the back of the bench, sat down, keeled over in pain. I had the wind knocked out of me, had turf burn all down my legs. It was the hardest I've ever been hit. As I sat there in pain, I heard the crowd go nuts and start cheering. I looked up at the mega screen in the center of the arena to see what they were cheering about. They had the camera on me. The fans were cheering as I was sitting there disheveled and struggling to breathe. I quickly sat up and acted as if I wasn't rattled. I admit I was. After the hit, there was a scrum broke out between the two teams. As my teammates took my back, they thought it was a cheap hit. They stood up to our opponent. As the penalties were getting sorted out, my coach yelled to me, "Fairlie, are you good?" I couldn't say no. I thought he was going to tell me to get back in. So I said, "Yeah, coach, I'm good." He responded with, "Good, go serve Kyle's penalty. He got thrown out of the game." I hopped over the boards and made the 100-foot walk across the floor, which felt like a mile. I entered the penalty box. The fans were screaming at me, and to put it in terms that we could use in chapel, it was "Fairlie, you stink." I sat down in the box, still in pain, listening to the fans chanting my name and telling me how bad I was. I sat there in that moment, bloody and beaten. I thought about where I was, where I've been, all the hard work it took to get to this point. I thought about all that while I was sitting there in that box, and I said to myself, this is awesome. Even with the pain, I was having so much fun. I could not wait to get back out there and play. Before the game, none of those fans knew who I was, but now they all knew my name. I was even reminded of the hit 2 months later when we returned later that season. I guess the moral of the story is that was one of the biggest settings I've ever played in. I felt honored to be part of it. I truly enjoyed that moment. I could have sat here and told you an inspiring story about a game-winning touchdown or a big goal in a big game. Although I remember the great winning moments in life, I will never forget getting laid out in front of 22,000 fans who loved every minute of it. We lost the game, which 20 years from now I may not remember, but I will always remember sitting in the penalty box, enjoying life, and appreciating the hard work it took to put me there. That night is a bit more special because my brother was there to see it, just like your family and friends will be here this weekend. Although that night is a butt end of many jokes for my brother, we will always have that night to talk about, and that is special. Now as a coach, I try to extend my knowledge and lessons I learned through my experiences to my team. I tell my team before every game, play loose, believe in yourself, believe in each other, and everything else will take care of itself. I tell them if you want to be respected, you need to earn it. I tell them to have swagger and have fun. Playing loose and enjoying the moment is the way to play high school sports. These moments you share with each other on the field or in the stands will go away, and you owe it to yourself to enjoy them all you can. It is an honor and a privilege to take part in a weekend like the one we're all about to experience. It is a great scene to see all the blue and white unite and pull together to compete. Our theme for the year is to be the change you want to see in the world. When I took over the football program, I did not think that our team believed in each other. I did not think they believed they can compete with the elite teams we played. I preached to them, believe it, take pride in everything you do. Believe you can do it, and before you know it, it will be true. The change I wanted to see in the world was to have our team and students believe in themselves. If you have seen our team play this year, if you have noticed anything at all, it would be they play loose, they have fun, and they believe in each other. I talk to my team often about what it is to be tough, physically and mentally tough. Both needed in football, but in life as well. When it comes to being tough, to me it does not have anything to do with where you are from or what your parents do for a living. To me, being tough is having a great work ethic, fighting for what you believe in, having heart, and being able to have poise and composure when facing adversity. I tell them that the guy I want on my team is the one when he is backed into a corner and he has two choices, to give up and accept failure or to fight and claw his way out of the corner. I want the guy who won't give up. I want the guy who would be there for me if I was backed into a corner, but I want them to know I would be there for them if they needed me. I truly believe that a person's character is measured when they are out of their comfort zone. That's when you find out if you could trust a person and if you can depend on them. That is the great thing about sports. It constantly pushes us out of our comfort zone. Whether it's football, soccer, golf, water polo, cross country, they all push us in different ways. That's when we find out more about ourselves, and it goes beyond the athletic fields. Every day here at EA, you are challenged and pushed out of your comfort zone academically. Our school is not easy. It is a challenge, and that builds character. You do not come to EA because it is easy. You come here because you want to be challenged. There have been times, and there will be plenty more, when you are pushed and the thought of giving up will pop into your head. The reason you are successful here at EA is because you make the right decisions when life gets hard, and you keep moving forward. Sometimes in life, we struggle to realize why people are pushing us, or we perceive they are being hard on us. EA is a very special place because it is filled with teachers and coaches who care about the students and do not let them get by just going through the motions. If our teachers and coaches did not care so much about you, they would not take the time to have those difficult conversations to tell you when you can improve and to hold you accountable in class and on the field. In all my years of being a student athlete, I was taught and coached by hundreds of different people. Out of all those people, there are two I talk to frequently and very close with. One was the first coach who ever told me he loved me. He generally cared about my best interests. He believed in me. He pushed me every day. He pushed me every day we were together. There was not one moment when I played for him that I knew if I had made a mistake, he would know I was trying my best for him. I gave him everything I had because I knew he would have done the same for me. There's not a man I've crossed paths with I respect more. The other person was the first coach to ever bench me. He made me realize I should not be content being good, that I should push myself to be great in everything and anything I do. Before that, I was content as an athlete and very content being an average student. Although at the time I did not exactly realize how getting less playing time could help, but now I see it as helped change my life. It forced me to work hard and not settle for just getting by. Although that man is 35 years older than me, he is one of my closest friends and we speak every week. He did me a favor. I did not realize it at the time, but now I am very grateful. EA is full of people here to help you become a better student, a better athlete, and a better person, just like those two were for me. My advice to you this week is to have fun, play loose, believe in yourself, believe in your teammates. Know that no matter what happens this weekend, you have over 1,000 EA faithful who care about you and support you. What I've learned so far in life is that the best way to grow up is to be out of your comfort zone. So take chances, don't be afraid of failure, stay loose, be confident, enjoy life, and beat Haverford and Agnes Irvine. Thank you.